First time I saw her, she was lying in the wreckage of a shattered pod, the silver sand of Teller 9 glittering beneath the violet sky. The air shimmered with the afterburn of plasma fire, and the ruins of her vessel still hissed as if alive. She was tiny, no taller than a human child of 8, but her skin glowed faintly blue under the twin suns, and her eyes reflected the sky as if they held galaxies inside. She tried to move when I approached but gasped, her frail body locking up in pain. Her legs, long and delicate like reeds, were twisted at wrong angles, one of them trembling with electrical spasms. I knelt beside her, setting my rifle down in the sand. "It's all right," I said, my voice shaking more than I wanted. "You're safe." Her pupils contracted into thin slits as she studied me. "Who man?" she whispered, the word strange on her tongue. "Yeah, human." I reached slowly into my pack, took out a field blanket, and wrapped it around her. Her skin felt like cool glass beneath my fingers. "What's your name?" She hesitated, then touched her chest weakly. "Lyra." "All right, Lyra," I said. "We're going to get you out of here." She looked down at her legs and shook her head. "Cannot walk." I looked toward the horizon. The only thing beyond the wreckage was the endless desert stretching toward a faint blue glow. The scanners on my wrist blinked a weak signal. An ocean 50 kilometers west. There might be help there. There might not. But staying meant death. So I made the choice that would define my life. "I'll carry you," I said simply. Her eyes widened. "Why?" "Because someone has to." The days that followed blurred into heat, wind, and exhaustion. I carried her on my back, wrapped in the emergency blanket, her small arms looped gently around my neck. The sandstorm that had followed the crash had stripped my visor's filters down to cracked lenses, so I saw the world through fractured glass. Every few miles, I stopped to check her vitals with the medical scanner. Her heartbeat was faint, uneven, but there. She slept most of the time, dreaming in small murmurs, whispering names I didn't know. At night, when the temperature dropped and the stars came alive, I built small fires from the dry brush that grew near the dunes. Lyra would wake sometimes, staring into the flames with eyes too old for her face. "Why go ocean?" she asked one night. "Because it's beautiful," I said. "And because we need water." She tilted her head, processing. "My world, no oceans. Only sky." That made me pause. "You've never seen the sea." She shook her head. "We read. Stories say, it breathes." Smiled. "You'll see soon enough." Her lips curved faintly, her first smile since I'd met her. On the 4th day, I realized her body was failing faster than the journey could end. The exosuit helped me carry her, but my own strength was waning. The desert heat fried the power cells, and my rations were nearly gone. When I stumbled and fell to my knees, the sand seared my palms. "Marcus," she whispered behind me. I turned my head. "How do you know my name?" "You talk in sleep," she said softly. I managed a tired laugh. "What else did I say?" "You miss someone." My breath caught. "Yeah," I said quietly. "My daughter." She was silent for a long while, then whispered, "You carry her too." Her words hit like a pulse grenade in my chest. I couldn't reply. When the storm hit that night, I thought it would end us both. The sand turned to shards, slicing across the dunes like liquid glass. I built a shelter out of the collapsed solar panels, huddling beneath them as the wind screamed. Lyra clung to me, her body trembling uncontrollably. Her pendant, a small silver disc on a chain, glowed faintly against my chest. I hadn't noticed it before. "What is that?" I asked. She pressed a hand against it. "Memory stone. Holds song." "Song," She nodded weakly. Home. I didn't ask more. The way she said it, soft, reverent, felt sacred. The storm lasted 20 hours. When it cleared, the sky above Teller 9 was a bruised violet, and the first glimpse of the sea shimmered far in the distance like a mirage. By the 6th day, I had to start rationing air from the filters. My skin cracked from the heat, and my joints ached from carrying her weight. Still I kept walking. Every step forward was a promise to a dying child, and to the memory of the daughter I'd lost on Earth. Lyra grew quieter with each mile. Sometimes I thought she was gone, but then she would stir faintly, her small hand resting against my shoulder. You keep promise, she murmured. I said I would, I replied. The sea, she whispered, drifting back into sleep. It waits. That night, I saw something strange in the sky, a pulse of blue light descending toward the horizon. My scanner blinked, detecting a faint distress signal. Not human. Alien. It had the same frequency as the pendant around Lyra's neck. When she woke briefly, I pointed at it. Is that your people? She stared at the faint blue flare and shook her head weakly. Not people. Guardians. They hunt. I felt a chill crawl up my spine. They're coming here. She nodded. To take what's left. We're not letting them, I said, gripping my plasma rifle. I've come too far for that. By dawn I could see them. 3 silver figures gliding over the dunes, not walking but hovering, their armor shining under the twin suns. Their faces were blank masks, their limbs elongated. Lyra's breathing quickened. They know I am broken, she whispered. They will end me. Over my dead body, I said. The guardians halted 50 meters away. One of them raised a hand, speaking in a voice that vibrated through the sand. Return the child. The failed vessel must be reclaimed. She's not a vessel, I snapped. She's alive. She carries what cannot be contained, the guardian replied. Her kind was meant to merge with the core. She is incomplete. Lyra whimpered, clutching my shoulder. Don't let them. I raised my weapon. You'll have to go through me first. The guardian tilted its head. You would die for her. I tightened my grip. I'd die to give her a choice. The world flashed blue. The blast sent me tumbling backward. My armor screamed as circuits overloaded. When I looked up, Lyra's pendant was glowing brighter than ever, its light pulsing with the rhythm of her heartbeat. Energy rippled through the air. The guardians hesitated, their armor beginning to crackle. Lyra lifted her hand weakly, her voice trembling but clear. No more taking. The air around her exploded in white fire. The guardians disintegrated, their armor turning to ash in an instant. The light faded, and Lyra collapsed against me, her breathing shallow. I caught her before she fell. Lyra, stay with me. Her eyes fluttered. Ocean close. I looked over her shoulder. The dunes broke into a stretch of glassy blue water shimmering under the rising suns. Yes, I whispered. It's right there. The final climb felt endless. I stumbled, crawled, fell, and rose again. My legs screamed with pain, my lungs burned. Lyra's weight seemed to grow lighter, and that terrified me more than anything. Last I reached the ridge. The sea of Teller 9 spread before us, vast and alive. Waves rolled against the black sand, whispering secrets of worlds beyond comprehension. I dropped to my knees, lowering her gently into the soft grains. There, I said, my voice breaking. You made it. She stared at the water, eyes wide with wonder. It breathes. She reached out her trembling hand. I carried her closer until the waves touched her fingers. The cool foam kissed her skin, and she gasped softly, a sound between laughter and tears. "It's beautiful," she whispered. "It is," I said. "Just like you." Her hand slipped into mine. "Marcus." "Yeah. Home." And then she smiled, a radiant, unearthly smile that would stay with me forever, before the light faded from her eyes. I buried her at the water's edge. The tide came and went, but never disturbed the spot where she lay. Her pendant still glowing faintly, I kept around my neck. Rescue came 3 days later. They found me half-starved, delirious, clutching the pendant like a talisman. I didn't tell them everything. How could I? They'd never understand what I'd seen. The courage of a child born from stars who had never seen a sea until her final breath. Years passed. The colony on Teller 9 grew, and with it came roads, towers, and cities. But the ocean remained wild and infinite. I returned often, sitting where I'd buried her, watching the waves roll endlessly. One evening, as the sun set, the pendant pulsed against my chest for the first time in years. I lifted it, and a faint voice drifted through the air. "Thank you for showing me the sea." I closed my eyes, smiling through the tears. "Anytime, kid." The tide washed against my boots, warm and alive. In the distance, the light of the setting suns reflected across the water, forming 2 trails that stretched endlessly toward the horizon. And for a moment I thought I saw her, running across the waves, her laughter carried by the wind. She couldn't walk, but somehow she was finally free.